This is The Breakfast Stable.
Good morning and welcome to The Breakfast Stable. My name is Jack Muller and it's great to have you with us again on a Sunday morning along with my gorgeous stablemates again this weekend. We're stuck at home trying to do our best to get through whatever day we're having, but we do know it's Sunday morning and it's great to have you on. Pete Hilke, how are you?
Mate, absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. I've got a gorgeous wife. When she's a pattern maker by trade, out there actually making face masks as I talk right now.
Oh, she's a very industrious person, is Vicky Hilke, and she's also a really super woman. So good morning to you, mate. Good to have you with us. And Catherine, good morning to you, sweetheart.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good. We've got a little bit of sunshine this morning, which is nice.
On this chilly Sunday morning. Well, I think we need to get used to it.
Yeah. We've still got a long way to go. At least we're stuck inside while the weather is cold. And someone who's looking very rugged up this morning, Helen Riser, how are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Yeah, no. I feel the cold, so I'm always in a snuggled up scarf and jumper. I've been doing. Oh, look, guys, I have to tell you, I've been doing a little research on the quarantine cats from hell. So yes.
Oh yes, because you're a new cat mother, aren't you?
I am, and ever since I got Nero, my cat, who's black and gorgeous, and I count my blessings every day. I see, you're kind of drawn to things that you're attracted to, and of course, I'm looking at the quarantine cats from hell, and these cats are cat poo crazy instead of cat SHIT crazy, and it's all of a sudden they're stuck at home with humans, and it's like I didn't sign up for this. And of course, they misbehave. So there's a cat behaviouralist called Jackson Galaxy who helps people coexist with their pets. Anyway, he's doing a long-hour special on how to deal with owners and their pets in quarantine today. So he does it through video conferences and put plants cameras in the houses to try and assess, because obviously due to COVID, he's got to do that. Anyway, and then he's doing a whole special on post-COVID on, how to prevent separation anxiety. So it's going to go the other way around.
I mean, you just sit there and stroke your pussy. That's it. I'm Dr. Evil, mate. Dr. Evil.
Well, I tell you, I can certainly sympathise because our poor dog, Millie, our cavoodle, is suffering from a little bit of being cooped up. So this week in the house that is the three-ring circus that I live in, with the 25 children, the two middle ones, our two middle 14-year-old girls who we call Prue and Trude, because that's basically what they're like Prue and Trude. They decided, because we're always at them about trying to get off the devices and off their screens and, trying to get them to do things, makeup. They decided they would create their own home spa.
Oh, I like
as in, a home beauty spa. You'd be interested in this, Catherine.
Oh, yes.
We thought,
I'm
that's
all
a great...
ears.
Yeah. So anyway, so they set up their bedroom. They had the running, the soundtrack and all the rest of it, but they tested it out on the poor dog. So if you want to have a look at what's happened to Millie this week, you can go onto my Jack Muller Instagram story and see what poor they painted her nails. They had her hair done up in this, band thing. They had her hip paws on the table. But so, of course, I tested it out on the dog and she came out looking very confronted. And then, of course, it was my turn and also Sir Hotsalot's turn. So we had a couples massage in their room because they've got twin beds. They share a room together. Well, I didn't know whether I'd been given a spa treatment or whether I'd been tortured. So I've come out of their room basically an hour later and I've been beaten with wet towels. I've had, they've been trying to find blackheads that they've been trying to extract from my face. I kept telling them I don't have any blackheads, but that wasn't good enough. I had one of those charcoal pore strips ripped off my face.
Oh my God.
And they charged me $25 for the privilege. So I've been...
Love it.
So,
Oh my God.
and it was so funny because at one point I'm lying there and I've got the charcoal, paw strip on, and Prue is doing my toenails and True is trying to extract blackheads, and they've got the waterfall soundtrack coming in the background.
Oh, I love it.
And then at one point an ad kicks in for, I don't know, COVID testing or something like that. And Prue goes, sorry, we don't have Spotify Premium. You're going to have to put up with the ads.
Oh, that's
bless.
precious.
Bless.
Mate, you got ripped off in every angle.
Oh, completely. And so by the end of it, I was going, here are your phones, for the love of God, please just watch Netflix.
Well, I know when I was a child growing up with 3 siblings, the cat in our house certainly got a lot of treatment, including whisker cuts and haircuts.
Wow.
And then Mum explained to us they actually need their whiskers to help with their spaciousness. That's how they,
It's a sensory thing for them, isn't it? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Everyone's been pulled through a ringer over here. So all I can say, I've got 2 words: send help. That's all I can say. I'm being held captive by our children. Oh dear. But yeah, look, the madness continues is all I can say really about that. So Catherine, you have actually got some really interesting information that's come to light this week, haven't you, that you've been delving into?
Yeah, look, I did a little television spot during the week and I talked about, of all things, sanitisers, and I hope the girls are looking after their sanitation in their home spa. But look, yes, there was a report by Choice magazine that came out just a couple of days ago at the end of the week, and it named and shamed at least one brand of sanitisers that was claiming to be 70% ethanol or alcohol, and it ended up being tested at 23%, which makes it ineffective against killing germs. So it can't be used as a surface spray or as a sanitizer at all. The interesting thing that I found was it was quite a large organisation, and you would expect that anybody would be across whatever regulations there are around releasing skincare, in particular things such as important as sanitizer is at the moment, but they hadn't. And I guess this is my concern over even small manufacturers and people making sanitizer from home. The alcohol content needs to be tested in the end product. It's not enough to say, I'm measuring 30% of this and putting 70% of ethanol or alcohol. It doesn't work like that. So that was really interesting. And while we're on the topic of the sanitizers, I mean, you see there's a lot of warnings on them, and that's because they're flammable and they're dangerous. Most sanitizers have chemicals added, which makes them, that it's called denatured, and it makes them undrinkable, unpalatable, toxic. You remember that, up until recently, we're all looking for alcohol-free everything. Mothers were looking for alcohol-free wipes because alcohol is dehydrating and it's not good for the skin. So if we're going to use a sanitizer, we want to look at the ingredients. I would prefer something, we're actually developing one. We've been developing it for 3 months at Aroma Baby. But if you look at the ingredients, you want to look for something that doesn't have fragrance, doesn't have synthetic cross polymers, which are basically, they don't need to be in there. And there's very few that are undenatured, which means it doesn't have that additive in. Even though they might be made in Australia, they are probably using imported ethanol, which is a lot cheaper than our Australian grown grain or sugarcane, for example, ethanol. So that's just
Catherine,
my tip. Read your ingredients and be careful.
Yeah, Catherine, can I just ask a question on that?
Sure.
I mean, obviously, we are where we are in lockdown now.
Yeah.
But, to go out and get hand sanitizer, it's now becoming quite rare again. So what do you do in that circumstance? Because, I mean, you've got to utilise what's there.
You know what? The best thing is soap and water. What it's doing is the soap has a fat-loving end, the molecule. It attaches to the fat or the oils on our hands, and it's got a water-loving molecule which pulls it away. So if you are washing your hands with simple soap and water, or a bath gel and water, or a shampoo and water, using it in a pump and washing your hands, you are effectively getting the germs off along with the fats and lipids and oils. That's what's happening. So that's the best thing. Now, soaps have got a high pH, so again, you might end up with dermatitis cracked skin in between the fingers. So then you need to lather on a nice moisturiser, oil-based moisturiser, or a balm. But
Awesome.
washing your hands if you are home. I tell the boys, don't use a sanitizer. If you're in the house, you go to the tap and you use soap and water. So you minimise your exposure to the alcohol and to the chemicals in the sanitizers.
Yeah. No, that's awesome tips. Thank you, Catherine. And I suppose moving on from that as well, you've got a great guest joining us this morning as well, haven't you?
I do. Look, I'm going to welcome Sia, who is the director of Viewtiologist in Melbourne. And obviously the beauty industry has been hugely impacted by COVID. They're open, they're closed, they're open, they're closed. So I thought it would be really good to have somebody join us who's been through it on a personal level. And she's been in business for quite a long time. And I want to talk to Sia about, you know, how they're managing at Viewtiologist and some of the ways that she's actually pivoted her business and is staying connected with her customers. So I'd love to welcome Viewtiologist, skin therapist and director, Sia Sakaris. Welcome to the Breakfast Table.
Thank you for having me.
That's my
Welcome,
pleasure.
Sia.
Now, oh my goodness. Now, the industry that we are both in, yours is slightly different to mine, of course, being an actual premises where you've got therapists, you've got a team, this backward and forward with COVID. We're open, we're closed, we're open, we're closed. It must have been incredible. I know you've done some great things in your business, and that's why I wanted to chat to you today. Talk to us a little bit about what your business has done differently. I know that you've been promoting some online and retail, and you're doing some consultations, but just explain a little bit more about what you actually are doing.
Sure. So firstly, for us who are engaging constantly and every day with clients, and it's a touch service.
Yeah.
So for me, the main thing was to still stay in connection with our clients, to still support them, even though physically they can't actually have a treatment. The main thing was for me to still be able to connect with them even when they're at home. So the most logical thing for me was, okay, how am I going to reach out to those people? We set up an online prescription consultation, which allowed the person at home to sit with one of our therapists over a Zoom meeting to discuss where are you at, what do you need, what's going on, and to organise a personal prescription, and then obviously have it then delivered out.
That's great.
Great
I love
idea.
that.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is, it's about maintaining that connection. We know that it's better for business to maintain the clients that we already have. It costs us more to try and scout for new business or get new clients. So I really love that. And I've also really loved I've been reading your newsletters, or your EDMs as we call them in the trade. So that as well, like just being able to stay connected and give people information about what you're doing. So you did some COVID safe training, is that right?
Yes, so the government put out very earlier on in the stage, I think it was either DHS or the government, one of them, put out a safe online course that you could do, that all my team, we all did, because we just felt that, you know, the more obviously the information that you have, the better that you're equipped to dealing with people that are scared and of course of the unknown. Like at that stage when we did it, we didn't know what was going on. We just knew that there was this thing going around the world affecting people. Yeah. So it's empowering to be able to do it, and then to be able to tell your clients that you've also done and completed the course. We put it out there to our clients to do as well. I thought it was a good one for their kids to do. Just the more information that we have, the better equipped we are.
Of course. So you have a team there. How many have you got in your team?
Sure. So I've got 5 girls and myself, so there's 6 of us.
So how has it impacted your team, like with being able to open just for a couple of weeks, and I guess you made some appointments and you booked up staff, and then having them finish again? Have you been able to access JobKeeper at all?
Yeah. So
have you had to let any staff go? No.
So we had to it wasn't a choice of mine. When you take on JobKeeper, it's one or all of them. Like you can't pick and choose.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the rules with JobKeeper. It's you can't pick and choose who to have. It's everyone or nothing.
Mm.
So I brought on everybody. One girl didn't want to take it up, and that's fine. So I got to keep all my team, which is great because we put so much effort into training,
Yes.
and you don't want to lose your team, and you want to be able to support them through something like this as well if you can.
Yes, of course.
Which creates loyalty as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great, because I guess if you've got good communication and you've got a great bond, and you can kind of weather the storm together, and you're all going through it, so you can share and you can support each other, which is really, really great. And I guess being able to boost staff morale if they've got somewhere to come where they're still engaged in their job, and it gives them something to do outside of the home.
And perfect for their mindset as well. Like I organised a training schedule of all my suppliers and who can do training at what time. So the girls, I organised for them to do a course as well. So even though we weren't allowed to do treatments, I thought, well, I'm going to use this time wisely, and we'll do some courses, we'll update our skills. So that was, I guess, a positive thing as well for COVID.
And that's the thing, I think a lot of
great.
businesses have had to do that, haven't they, Sia, where we all have too, where you've had to sort of then get on to doing the things that you probably have been meaning to do for quite some time, like fixing up websites and fine-tuning brand and doing the filing, whatever it is, and training is a big part of that. So I suppose it's right, we're trying to just work out, well, what can we do now that we haven't been able to get to prior because we've been so busy, and focusing on that. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't necessarily keep the money coming in the door either. So you've got to kind of balance out doing all the admin and the back end things with finding new ways to create revenue, don't you?
Yeah.
I know that, I'm not sure if you're aware, Sia, the Victorian Chamber offered free memberships during COVID, and through that there are a lot of courses and trainings available. I actually did the advanced social media through the week, so if you're not already a member, I might hook you up with that. That's a great initiative. For free, which is $700 worth of membership. I know Helen's joined up too, but then you get a credit for training, and you can extend that credit into your courses or to staff, or brush up on skills. So that's a really good one, and I'll definitely hook you up with that. So apart from the trainings and the COVID and things like that, how can general public support the industry, and how can we support the beauty therapists that maybe are stuck at home and aren't getting the kind of support that you're giving to your team? You've got an online shop, which is great, and are you supporting
I've had to spend a lot more
Australian
time.
businesses and brands? I saw Aesop up there the other day, which is an iconic Australian brand. So what can we do? Like, what do you think consumers can do, like the general public can do, to help support this industry and your type of business?
Sure. So I think staying in contact with your therapist. I think being part of a beauty clinic and supporting your local beauty clinic, and Australian brands, I think is really important. Where I've just converted most of my brands over to Australian brands. I've picked up some beautiful brands. For example, Bondi Wash, which is an Australian cleaning company, and it's all with botanical ingredients. For a bench wash and a vegetable cleaner. So really random and innovative brands. So keeping things like that going, I think, is really important. Another brand we picked up was from the Murray River. So beautiful bath salts from the Murray River. So I think those things are, there's some great Australian innovative people coming out there with new offerings, and I think getting behind that is really important.
Yeah. So did you have any tips for maybe any other beauty therapists or business owners in general that might be listening? Just, tips on how you've managed and any suggestions?
Look, I'm going to say it's been extremely hard. I think surrounding yourself with like-minded people, that you don't just kind of hear oh, it'll be okay, it'll be okay. Well, it's actually not okay. And it's okay for it to not be okay. But if you're surrounded with the people who are going through the same thing, you can then help each other out in things that you've done right, or they might have suggestions. It's just a little bit different. Whereas I find that if you're hanging out with the people who aren't bothered by it, it's kind of, you're taking on that energy, and it can
totally
get
agree with that.
frustrating. And
I always
it's
say
not
to my
a
friends,
situation.
no negative energy, no negative news. We get so much, we get fed news through so many different ways, and minimising your exposure to negative news and you know, that oversaturation of negative news and supporting.
That's been a huge thing for me. I've had to do a social detox. When I say social detox, of all media, TV, everything. I've just had to stop everything, even reading people's like feeds and things like that. I've had to stop.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, there's just
you've got to really protect yourself. Yeah, and have some positive energy. So thank you so much, Sia. Anybody who wants to look at these Australian brands, we can hop onto your website, which is viewtiologist.com.au. If you want a beautiful facial consultation online with Sia or one of her team, you can also book an appointment on there. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been really lovely chatting to you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Sia. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you. That was great to have Sia on this morning, Catherine. Thank you so much for having her in. And now we're going to head over to our resident chef who knows about everything going on with restaurants and also the latest in kitchens and what we're going to be doing. So we're spending so much time in them. Petey, help us.
Yeah. Help's an understatement, but let's go first. Restaurant of the week. This is where I'm going, ladies and gentlemen. Shane Delia. Maha, thank you very much. We love Shane. We love what he's done in the past. His latest victory out there, Maha Go, is his newest service to the Delia group. Basically what it is, during this lockdown, Middle Eastern delicacies delivered to your home. Absolute phenomenal. All you have to do is go to maharestaurant.com.au. And so Maha, M-A-H-A, restaurant.com.au. Go there and it'll take you to another platform called Providor, where you can actually order these Middle Eastern foods, get them ordered. They do a 35-kilometre radius to deliveries, which is fantastic. We love it. So if you like a bit of Middle Eastern and a bit of Delia, go down that track. Kitchen appliances.
Is that a ready-made take-home meal, or are they kind of like they're giving you the ingredients and then you cook them at home, or can you do both?
These are ready-made.
Right. Okay.
He is doing some cooking classes as well. He's doing some cooking classes as well via Instagram.
Okay.
Right, on Friday nights. So you actually go and pick up the produce. Once again, you get them through the Providor group, and then you actually do the cooking class with him, but you do it from home.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Look, what Shane's doing is phenomenal. Okay, kitchen appliances. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll as we go. I bought myself an air fryer.
An air fryer, not an air dryer, not a hair dryer. Clearly, not a hair
dryer because I don't have any on the old noggin. But a good old, I was going to say, an air fryer. The great thing about it, no cholesterol whatsoever. You're not using oils. The great thing is you can get some beetroot, really nice thin slices, cook them for around about 10 minutes at about 160, and you've got these beautiful beetroot chips. Fantastic.
Yum.
Yeah. No oils. It's phenomenal. You can roast the chicken in there. You can do everything. And this is one of these things during lockdown. Start to play around. Have a look at what you've got. Have a look at what you need. Now, I'm going to digress and come back very shortly, because if you've got stuff that you have not used in your pantry, take a picture. There's a little, I don't know, it's called eBay. Put it on eBay, create an account and sell it. Somebody else will want it, make some moolah and go out and buy yourself the equipment that you need. That way you're recycling, everything's going through. But hey, get out there and do it. I mean, I'm having fun at the moment. I've put up a Wi-Fi downlight in the dining room, so it's got a bit of ambience. Yeah, these are the things you do. Go out, air fryers.
You know what I thought was funny? You said go and buy what you need. I think there's a bit of a difference between what you want and what you really need.
Yes.
Because I just needed some boots, and I just did some online shopping last week, and my boots that I really needed just arrived, but I've got nowhere to wear them.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's true. But how's this? Just to finish off, Catherine, on that note, however, and I must say, you got your wants, you got your needs. But you know what? I would actually say an air fryer is pretty much a good need, because, see, instead of using all the oils to cook in and you don't drain them properly, this is a healthy way of giving good nutrition to your body.
True.
Instead of putting it through oils. So, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm excited, Petey. I ordered yesterday. I finally bitten the bullet and I've ordered a crock pot express. I'm very excited. It's arriving on Monday.
That again, Jack?
It's a crock pot.
Just to let everybody know, when she first said it, it didn't come out as
a whole lot of crock.
Yeah, a whole lot of crock.
Yeah. Crock and then pot. They're together. They're not separate things. Let's just make that very clear. So it's arriving on Monday. So I'm really excited about that, because, which is really sad for me, actually, that I'm excited about this arriving. But anyway, I've been researching it for quite some time. I'm like, do I want this? Do I not want this? And I think I'm now sold on the idea that I do need it. So it's a slow cooker, and I've never had.
Too late now. It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But the key there, and Jack, you said the main word. This is a big word. It's called research. Yes. Research. Don't just jump into an impulsive purchase. Research it. Have a look online. I noticed Catherine mentioned earlier about choice. Guess what? Jump on. Have a look at their website. They'll give you the best of the best. Make sure, from an environmental perspective, is it good on energy? Follow the guidelines. Get the best. Don't get something cheap and nasty. Enjoy it. Oh my God, I love life. Love you girls. Bam, I'm out of here.
Good on you, Pete. We'll be looking forward to hearing your adventures in air frying over the next few weeks, and any interesting. But I did like the beetroot chip one thing. That's a really good one.
Yes.
Well, I usually buy a lot of those veggie chips, but to make them at home on your own is great. And then you just got an endless supply of them instead of the bags just going endlessly. It's like living with locusts.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have to constantly replenish the cupboard. So that's a good one too. But I'll let you know how I go with my slow cooker next week as well. Gee, we're exciting, aren't we? We're just living on the edge at every turn.
Aren't we also wholesome and homely?
Absolutely, of course we are. Right across the board.
Someone who's always wholesome and never does anything wrong. Helen Reiser.
Great guest coming up, which I'm going to tell you all about. I'd like to welcome our guest today, who is incredible in the fitness world. His name is Mark Castanini, and he is the owner of Hammers Gym. Now, I've got quite an intro for you, Mark, so bear with me. You're a martial artist with 25 plus years of experience in the industry. 13 years as general manager at Blitz Publications, promoting and managing Warriors Way fight events. That has become one of Australia's favourite fight promotions, winning a special award at the Australian Muay Thai Industry Awards in 2013. You're a specialist kickboxing and World Muay Thai Council commentator for Fox Sports since the 1990s, and you have commentated and produced over 360 major events and over 4,000 fights. And you were the co-host and co-producer of Hammer Time Fight Show on the Fox Sports Network in Australia. You're currently the Vice President of Victorian Amateur Martial Arts Association, and your gym trains some of the finest fighters in Australia in Muay Thai and kickboxing, and 95% of them are winners. So that goes to show you how incredible you are. Now, we've got you on because, you know, obviously COVID's affected and impacted so many industries, in particular the fitness industry and gyms across the globe. So tell us how it's affected you and what you are actually doing today, and how your staff and you are coping.
Yeah, thanks, Helen, for that intro. I'm actually now been upgraded to the president of the Victorian Amateur Martial Arts Association. So
Wow,
we're heading that up now. So, and that's a whole different ball game, because martial arts in Victoria is huge. Martial arts, in fact, in Australia is one of the top 10 activities undertaken recreationally by Australians, and that's the Australian Bureau of Statistics rankings. So it's very understated, not only the gym training, but the martial arts as well. So there's a lot of people that are suffering through this because, of course, in martial arts, it's a lot of close contact. There's, that social distancing is very hard to adhere to. So, going back to the initial question, we've had that long time of lockdown. Then we were allowed to come back with the gym. My staff and I worked tirelessly, through those three months. I think I spent close to, between $120,000 and $150,000 on improving Hammer's gym. I bought a heap of equipment. We did renovations. We basically, had a whole rebrand of the interior of the gym, and really emphasised the, repainting and cleaning. Every treadmill was pulled apart, and if you look at my social media, you'll see, we took them back to, we stripped them down, took the tread belts off, all the running gear was cleaned. Like I can't emphasize enough how into detail we went into the preparation for the reopening. I was, very fastidious with everything that I did, as were my staff. So we were all G'd up about opening, and, it was a big reopening. And because of having to open with so many constraints, with regards to only allowed 20 people on the gym floor at any one time. And my facility is over 2,000 square meters. Yeah. So it's quite ridiculous when a gym of 150 square meters has to have the same, regulations. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. But anyway, we went with the flow. I've got about 10 different training areas within the facility. So the gym floor itself, we adhered to that 20 people, and it was a booking system. And in the classes, because we do obviously Muay Thai kickboxing, we do boxing, we do spin, we do hip training, which is like your F45 style classes. So I've got it all, yoga, all of that. So people actually had to book in for those classes. So, the amount of work we had to go to make it happen. And then there's people missing out. So what I thought was, instead of charging people for the first month, I'll make it free, in order, because I suppose humans are essentially creatures of habit. So people got into the habit of not going to the gym. So I thought, well, for a month, I'll let everyone come for free. We won't put any charge on. There was a small support fee when we were closed for the home workouts. But the standard gym fees, we did none of, because I thought, the way things are tracking, give me a month, we're going to be back. Well, that sort of went a little bit sideways, well, a lot sideways, in fact. So now, we had to shut down again. And it's really been quite demoralizing, for myself and the members. So many members had messaged me and said, what do I do now? And it's hard to give someone an answer when you don't have the answer yourself. Yeah. And indeed, I don't think even the police have the answer. I don't think any of us have the answer as to where this is going. Yeah. So, it's a long-winded answer, but where we are now is we've gone from a really hot, we thought, okay, we'll face this challenge head on. We'll make it be, we'll turn a negative into a positive by rejuvenating the business and the gym and bringing on these new programs and new equipment and all the rest of it, as I said, to quite a big expense. And I sort of put all my eggs in the basket of, okay, things are going to get better, so therefore I'll recoup it in not, not such a long period of time. I worked out a business plan with my accountant and financial planners, and we've gone, okay, if this happens, we'll do this and we'll be right, and give back to the community, don't charge anyone. We'll put that to the already huge losses that I've, encountered. So we've gone from being somewhat positive to now sort of sitting there scratching our heads going, well, where do we go now? So that's sort of a long-winded answer to a short question, but I hope it sort of fills in the blanks as to, the position of...
Totally.
It's good to give everyone a snapshot, like a really good snapshot overview of what actually happened, what you did.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a conversation a while ago, and you said you were going to hire someone specifically to walk around wiping the equipment down after each use, so people didn't have to wait long or have to wipe it down themselves. I mean, that person's lost their job now too, you know, like, and you know, and I remember you saying how fastidious you needed to be about your bathroom facilities, and, you know, and I mean, you've got, you know, the thing is, people go to your gym for their mental health and well-being, as well as their physical health. So I know that you've been working with Icon Photography.
Yeah, Icon Productions. Yeah, so Con's a member of the gym, and you know what? It's funny. There's a couple of things. Number one, I have, you know, there's not only my gym, but I work with a lot of other gym owners, and they, you know, because I'm sort of one of the bigger, you know, sort of business models in the country of the type of business that I'm in. I get a lot of people ring me and ask me for advice. So they sort of go, well, what do we do now? And I'm like, well, you know, I don't know. And then obviously talking to guys like Tony Doherty, who's, you know, Tony's right into the bodybuilding. So a long conversations with Tony. A friend of mine is one of the general managers of Good Life up on the Gold Coast. So I liaise a bit with him on the, you know, how they're rolling out their strategy in the big box gyms as well. So I'm dealing with people from the key industry bodies, the biggest of the big, right down to the sole traders, you know, the guys that basically work for themselves out of garages and you know, footy fields and stuff like that. So I'm across the whole industry with regards to what everyone's experiencing, and great for all the other states because they're slowly getting back to their feet. But this has been, you know, really a jab cross to the jaw of Victorian, you know, fitness businesses, you know, through and through. So it's really hard. And you know, we went that extra level. I've got all this great cleaning equipment and signage and, you know, all this technology, you know, antiviral technology that I've brought into the gym. Some of it I haven't even got a chance to use because I had to wait for it to come, you know, from overseas. And it's basically sitting there. I didn't get a chance to use it. You know, I've got a Bock gas has a good antiviral gas that they put, you know, into air conditioning units and stuff like that. And I've got this stuff that took me a while to get, just sitting there now waiting to be used. So the challenges are, you know, insurmountable. I can't explain to you guys how bad this is for business, you know, or for this business. You know, I'll get through because I've always, you know, I think because I'm old school, you're always taught, save your money, you know, don't go out. But there's a lot of younger business people that as it comes in, it goes out. So I've got a war chest to get me through, you know, no problem till next year. But I know there's a lot of businesses, and I'm very thankful to my landlord, who's been so great to me and looked after me. That, you know, I've had a rent break because it is quite a lot of money. So there's all of these extenuating circumstances we've had to deal with. And then when you talk about the mental health, I'll start it right with the business owners because, you know, that's the head there. So if they're not in a good place, you know, how can they mentor their clients and their members to be in a good place? So I really, you know, put a message out to all the business owners, you know, stay strong. You know, we get through it. I think being a business owner, especially a small business owner, you have to be somewhat resilient. And I did an interview with a smart company, and we touched just on that subject where, you know, by nature, small business people are somewhat resilient to setbacks and challenges. So this is never more than now. We're really going to have to level up to that and lead from the front for our.
Kind of a mentor within the industry. What do you do to keep yourself sane and upbeat? Like, have you got a support network around you? What are you doing to support yourself?
Yeah, look, you know, it's been funny because, you know, during this whole period, and I don't know, you guys might have had the same experience. There's people that you've had in your life that you think, oh, we'll get through everything together. And some of those people have really fell silent. And then there's other people that out of nowhere, like Icon, you know, Productions, Con from there, he just stepped up straight away and he's gone, what do you need? What can I do? how can I help? I love the gym. I want to, you know, do whatever I can. And I didn't really even know what his business did at the start.
Wow.
So I've had all these people out of left field, you know, step up and just offer so much support and help. And Helen, but You're, Helen, you've been there all the time. You know, you're so supportive since day one, since I opened the business. So you know, there's so many people that have put their hand up to help, and that gives you energy then to keep going. Because I think if you get beaten down so many times, each time it sort of gets harder and harder to get up.
Yeah,
for me, I
sure.
use the fight analogy where, when you get knocked down, you know, you get up, and then you get knocked down, you get knocked up, and after a while, it's like, man, I'm in a no-win situation here. But you keep going just because that's what you do.
But you're a fighter. You are a fighter by trade. Like, that's what you do. You know? But I know that you were selling your merchandise as well, Hammer's Gym, you know, your sweatshirts and that. Which is great, you know, on the side. You've got, for winter, you've got all your hoodies and shirts and caps, etc. So, you know, make another run, because I need it. Can you get me a large, please?
we get you out. I'm actually we're sort of pivoting to now do the online store, because I've never really, most of my merchandise and everything is sold from the shop front. And we've had a few people from interstate, but gyms, you know, like footy teams, everyone follows their own. So, but now I've had more and more people that are saying, you know, they're seeing it out there. And we launched an Instagram competition, you know, for post your workout, post your Hammers hoodie. And, you know, because people have seen it more, they want it more. So that's been good. I'm ordering more stock, and we're doing, you know, beanies, and even now I'm getting the branded face masks made as we speak. So, you know, just trying to capitalize on wherever I can. Mind you, for me, the merchandise is not about profit. It's about just getting the brand out there. So I don't. I'm
doing the same, Mark. We've done the same with a couple of different things in our business. I totally get that.
So it's not about the high profit margin. It's just about keeping the brand active and making everyone know we're not going anywhere. So that's, the merchandise has helped cash flow. It's not really good for profitability, but just keeps things turning over from a business perspective.
And brand awareness.
Look, Mark, thank you so much for coming on The Breakfast Table. It's always great talking to you, and you're a wealth of information, and we love you, and we wish you every success.
Can I just say one last thing, just out for everyone out there? Do something for yourself. Go for a walk if that's all you can do. You don't need a big home gym setup. It's just getting out and you know, obviously staying away from people and so forth for the betterment of all. But just do something for you. At this point in time, it's like whenever life hits a bit of a speed bump, do what makes you happy, whatever that might be. But try and keep it to something that's going to be positive and do you good things for your well-being, and just get ready for that reset. Get ready for that reset, because it'll come.
Well put, mate. Well put.
So
thank you. Mark, just to round it off, how do we find you? So your website and Instagram and Facebook, how do we find you?
So Hammers Gym is pretty much on Facebook and Instagram. And obviously hammersgym.com.au, pretty easy one to remember. Myself, Mark Hammer Castanini on Instagram, or just go to Helen's and you'll see me through there. Look, it's good to connect. I mean, that's the one thing social media has been great for now. You're sitting at home on your own, but you still feel like there's people around you. So connecting through social is great as well.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you,
for your time, guys. I really appreciate it.
Great advice. Thank you. And thank you once again, Helen, for bringing us some great guests. You too, Catherine. Thank you for bringing Sia on.
Pleasure.
And Petey, for all your wonderful advice today in the kitchen, and also helping a lot of great restaurants out there. We look forward to hearing more about all that in the future. And Mark, once again, thank you very much. And thank you everyone for joining us this week on The Breakfast Table. It's been lovely having you along, and we will have you next week again when we tune in to have a chat on Sunday morning. It's great.
Happy Sunday.
Have a great weekend.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Have a good one, guys.